Hi, fellow traders. We are rapidly coming to the end of my Christmas vacation. I've only got a couple of days left. Our celebration wraps up on Monday, the 6th, which is Three Kings Day. So I got a couple more days of enjoying the Christmas lights and all of that. But this is my favorite time of the year. I love the decorating and wrapping gifts and all of that. I like the simple parts of Christmas, but it just seems like it went too fast this year for some reason. Maybe I did more than I normally do, and it just made the time go by faster. But I'm already ready to and looking forward to starting the process again next year. But last year, we focused on making 2019 your year, and we wanted to get everybody to make sure you got the ABCs of trading. And that's what the roadmap to success was. And some of you guys stuck to it. It took you a little bit longer because you didn't realize how important that simple exercise was and how important it was that you did it the right way. And so some of you had to start 2 and 3 times. One guy started 5 times, but he is so excited now because he is finally, after 2.5 years, consistent. And he's got something that he can build off of. So what I did last year was try to sneak you in the back door of this no fear trading, or trading without fear. Some of you snuck in and you came in the back door. Some of you didn't want to come in. You're kind of skeptical about it. So I'm opening the front door this year, and we're going to focus on no fear trading. Because in trading, fear is your greatest enemy. Fear can paralyze you. It could prevent you from taking trades, or it could prevent you from getting out of a trade when you're supposed to. And so that's our focus. And really what happens, it comes from what we were taught growing up. At a very early age, we were taught that winning is everything and that we need to avoid losses at all costs. I don't know how many of you seen that movie, Talladega Nights, but Ricky Bobby's daddy instilled in him, and what he told the class when he came for that career day was, if you're not first, you're last. And that's the mentality that we grew up with. But if we try to bring that into trading, it's going to spell disaster, because we have to accept that we are going to lose on some trades. Some trades are not going to work out. And we have to be willing to accept that. And it's not the fact that we're losing, and it's not the fact that we're wrong. It's just normal market randomness. And the market's random. And once you understand how prices move in the market, how prices get from one tick to the next, then you'll understand and you'll realize that, hey, there are people that could come in and move the market in the direction that they want to, and it doesn't have to be in the direction that you are actually in the trade. Your technical setup, your strategy, your methodology can tell you that the stock is likely to move up or move down, and it triggers an entry. We get in according to our plan and to our strategy, but somebody else has a different plan for the stock, and they have the clout to move it in the opposite direction. Or there may be 3 or 4 big funds and big investment banks that think, hey, I want this thing to go the other way. And we saw that. If you were hanging with me the last month or two in chat, you saw what Boeing was doing. We tried to short that thing several times, and we've got some good trades off of it, but they will not let it go. And it's other people, even though the chart and everything is telling us that it's set up to go shorter, to go lower, there are other people that have other plans for the stock. And so they're taking it the other way. And we have to accept that and realize that it's not that we're wrong and that it's okay to take that loss, because over the next series of trades, the trades are going to work out. Not because of we know it. It's just because the patterns, the things that we trade, the strategies, they repeat themselves. We can use math and prove that we're going to see these 60-70% of the time. And that's reliable. But then the outcomes of the trades based on those strategies, it's going to be random, because we don't know which ones are going to work out or which ones somebody's going to move opposite of where we want it to go. We just don't know that. But we know over a period of time, the trades are going to work out in our favor. We're going to win more than we lose, or more is going to make money than not make money. And it has no bearing, if we execute perfectly, on what we did. Now, if we make a mistake, now sometimes I'll get in a trade too early, sometimes I'll get in too late, and it's not the strategy's fault. It's my fault. It's bad execution. And that's usually the number one reason your methodology fails, is because you make a mistake. And that's why last year the focus was on execution, trying to eliminate the mistakes that we as traders make in our execution. And so in turn, that should have helped you with your fear and not worrying about whether the trade is going to work or not, because at the end of the week, we're going to make money. And we're going to look at my equity curves for the end of the year. It had to stop early, unfortunately. We know SureTrader closed down. That's the account that I was tracking. And I tried to get in CMEG. You know how that went. And I think sending all that stuff over there, I got, during Christmas holidays, I got an alert that somebody was trying to open up an account and get credit using my information. So I've never had that happen before. So I'm not sure if me sending my information over there to try to open up an account with them, but I got it locked down now, so that can't happen anymore. But these last couple of months, I just took time to think, this November and December, to try and figure out what am I going to do going into next year. And I'm going to share that with you here in a second. But the main thing is, we're going to focus on no fear trading, eliminating that fear from our trading, the fear of being wrong, the fear of losing. Because these are things we shouldn't put right or wrong on whether the trade works or not. It's, we shouldn't attach that emotion to it. And we shouldn't worry about losing. Because think about this. Now, I don't know how many of you play the lottery. All right. When you go to play the lottery, if you pay $5 for a Powerball ticket. Now, what's the odds of you winning? So you just go, when you give them the money, you don't expect to win. All right, so we need to have that same mentality when we trade. Like when we put on a trade, the same way we accepted the risk of that $5 or $15 or $20 that you pay on that ticket, you accepted that risk. So you're not really expecting anything from it. Now, obviously, you want to win and there's a chance, but what's the probability? So you've accepted that risk and you moved on. You've got to have that same mentality when you trade. that there's no fear of you losing because you've already accepted that. So when you decide before you go on a trade that I'm going to give this trade $200 to prove that it's going to work or it's not going to work, you've accepted that risk. So if you lose on the trade doesn't work, you're only going to lose what you've already accepted. So there shouldn't be any fear. No fear in what you're trading. So that's the mindset that we've got to develop. And thinking in, what does Mark Douglas call it? Probabilities. Knowing that over a period of time, our trades are going to work out and pay us. That we're not looking at this every day or every week, so to speak. But I know for me, if I do what I'm supposed to do every day, I may have a red day here. I may have 2 red days. I may even have 3 red days. But at the end of the week, I'm more likely to be green because I'm consistent. And if I am red, I still stay consistent because the next week, I know things may be are likely to work. I don't know which trades are going to be good, which trades are going to be bad. We have no idea. Remember, the patterns or the strategies that we use, they're going to repeat themselves. But we can't determine with any degree of accuracy which one of those trades are going to work and which one of those trades are not going to work. Because we don't know what the people on the other side of our trades are doing. We just don't have that. So, that's part of what we got to accept. But that's going to be the focus going forward. We're also going to do this. This is our P&L curve, the weekly P&L curve from last year. Obviously, we stopped in October, the end of October, because of the SureTrader thing. But we're going to do this again starting this year. We've got, and I'm going to do the weekly just to show you the contrast. Look what happens. And what if we were trying to make decisions off our weekly P&L? This would cause us a lot of grief. Especially here, we were just going up, and then wham, we ended up with a red week. Most of us would be looking to change our strategy, trying to do something different. And, we can't do that. We have to stay consistent. And you guys that were with me all year, you saw I was consistent. I didn't change up anything. I didn't do anything different. I thought about changing time frames. I might have done it once or twice, but I realized the 3-minute and the 5-minute practically lined up every time. And so it didn't really do anything. So I just stayed true to what I did and, look at what it looks like over a period of, every month. Over a period of every week. Look at it. This is continuing. This is me just looking at the numbers every week. Okay, just plotting the numbers every week. And this is the randomness that if we try to track this would drive us insane. And this is what we look for. We look for a smooth curve. I'm plotting it every week. And I want to see. Now, if we get 3 or 4 weeks and we start to come back, I need to start looking closer at my trades. Is something wrong with my execution? Is the market really changing that much to where my edge is just not there anymore? What's the problem? And these are just normal. These little pullbacks are normal. And they do not require me adjusting anything. It's just being consistent. So we started with 5,000 at the beginning of the year. And this is the profit. As we got better, all through the year. You can look at starting right here. 161, then 1087, 1923. This is when earnings kicked off. I'm looking for this to happen just continuing to grow. I'm looking for this to happen this year. But I'm not going to stop and go back to $2,000 or $1,500 or whatever like I did a couple times this year. We're staying to 5,000. We're starting with $5,000 at the beginning of the month. And that's what we're trading. And you can see where we ended up. I mean, it still isn't bad. 32.6, 22.85 with that smaller account. And we're not chasing stocks up trying to make as much money in 30 seconds. That's not what I do. And for 99% of the people, that's not a viable strategy. And you'll go broke trying to do that, because it takes I don't even know what it takes. But I haven't seen anybody that survived it yet. But I know it's fun. I know it's exciting. And you're going to hit a winning trade here and there. But the question becomes, can you keep the money? And that's what it's all about. It's all about, can you keep the money in your account? If you make $10,000 and then you turn around and lose 12, and then you make 8 and you lose 10, and then you make 15 and you lose 12, and you keep going that way, it's at the end, your equity curve is not going to look like this. It's going to be all cracked up and broken, and the consistency that you're looking for is not going to be there. So this is where we ended up last year. Every trade you guys saw, if you were in chat, and I recapped probably 90% of these. There were a couple of days where I might have been traveling and I didn't get to do it, or one reason or another, but 90% of these, all of the trades are on YouTube. The recaps of them. So we're looking to do this again with the day trading. Like I said, it's going to be more consistent. I'm not going to change and try to do a whole lot. I'm going to be ultra focused, because that's what you guys need to see. And that's what you need to learn from, not somebody just trying to be all over the place. Another focus, and I talked about this earlier last week. There's a lot of guys who are really apprehensive about going overseas again. With this ordeal I just dealt with, I'm pretty apprehensive myself. But swing trading is a viable option. Now, it doesn't move as fast as day trading, but the ability to make money and grow your account is there. And if you are working full time, you don't have a whole lot of time, and you find yourself rushing at the open, and that's causing you a lot of grief, then swing trading is probably going to be your best bet. And so, I have the session on Sunday mornings. We build a watch list. We talk about the market. I'm going to do more scanning during the week. Since swing trading, you scan at night, I'll be doing that, and you'll get more emails. So we're starting that Monday. I've done a couple of swing trades. We talked about a couple of them already. But I'm going to try to make sure we focus on the strategy, executing those strategies. It's going to be less stress, more mechanical. You don't have to read a whole lot. So it should be a lot better experience for you. And to give you an idea, we're looking for short-term moves. And this is an example of me having trouble moving from day trading mindset to a swing trading mindset. Like on an all-day hold, I'm going to look for a magnet that I would expect the stock to get to by the end of the day. And it's usually going to be a huge target, because we're not looking to get the small the smaller gains, the 1 and 2 point gains. We're looking for 5 or 6 points. And sometimes stocks will do that in one day, but most of the time they don't. And if I was going to put this out, I put the order out at the 52-week high. And it ended up hitting it after the close. And I didn't realize it, but this is what you don't want to do, because what this does is it counts as a day trade. And if you don't have 25K in an American broker, you only get 3 round-trip day trades per 5-day period. And you don't want to waste one on a solid trade like this. You want to save those day trades so that if you get in a stock and it unwinds that day, you can get out. You don't want to be stuck without any day trades and you can't get out a stock that's unwinding on you, because then you'll have to sit there and wait until the next day to try to get out. And by then you may be broke. So you want to make sure that you have legitimate targets, and don't do this. This is the first day I converted this account to margin account. This was always cash, because all I did was use this for charting. So I never actively traded out of this. I started last year, took a couple of trades, when I was doing that other deal. But other than that, that was just cash. So I converted it to margin, and I was kind of testing margin on this, and really should have done a better job. But that's that. But I brought this up because I wanted to bring that point up. This is the stock we took, DKS. We were looking at it, and I like the setup on this. And I was looking for it to hit 50. It almost did. We were 20 cents out of it hitting 50. So I ended up taking it at 49.70 at the close on Tuesday. And then, as you can see, on Thursday, the bottom fell out yesterday. So I'm glad we took it off. I took it off because I didn't want to go into the new year in a trade. I wanted to be all cash. So I took it off, and turned out to be a good deal. But on Sunday, this is probably going to be on our watch, because this is it'll be I'll be looking for this for a 20 EMA crossover. That's what I'm going to look for this stock on. So this will be on our watch to get back in. You can see everything's kind of pulled back. I'm not sure how much, if this is going to continue to pull back and then I have to wait until it crosses it. But I do believe this is going to come back across the 20. It may pull back some more before it bounces. So we'll see. But this will continue to be on my watch. But this is more like what I like to see. Getting in this 2 days, 3 days, trying to get 10%, and then move on to the next trade. Now, as you make more money and your account grows and your experience and your comfort level grows, then you'll be able to get in trades that may take a little bit longer. So you'll be in a stock that you can hold longer for a bigger move, and then you can trade the shorter term moves as well. So don't be surprised if you see me in 2 positions at one time in the swing account. One that I'm expecting to be a little bit longer to get to its goal, and another one that I'm expecting to get to in 2 or 3 days. So that won't be uncommon. But I'll be using Thinkorswim. It's good because I can stream both of these at the same time. This in my day trading platform at the same time. They won't conflict with each other, and should be a smooth deal. So we will be focusing more on swing trading, especially for you guys that are under 25K. This is a good way that you can grow your account. and get to that PDT minimum. All right, so lastly, I had some people ask me, what does it look like in chat? What would I see if I come in chat? Now, I do have a couple of the live videos on YouTube, and I do plan to do a couple of live streams this year. But this gives you an idea of what you see. My platform, the good thing about it, this chat platform has no delay. You know, we had 3 to 5 second delay in Omnovia. Here is no delay. This is practically real time. So as soon as my order hits, you see it. There's very little fractions of a second delay, if any, which I think is really good, because you're able to see exactly what I'm seeing when I see it, and hear me talk about it exactly when it's happening. So you get to see the orders hit. You see my order in. You see it hit. Any stop orders I have out, any profit targets, you guys get to see. And if it's too small, you got that magnifying glass that you can blow up whatever you want to see. So really having fun. I still got a lot to learn, because I can do a lot more with that platform, and really make the classes and the chat come alive. So we got that extra tab today, so we can separate day trading and swing trading, and then general chat. I think that's going to be a good enhancement going forward, so we can separate things. I'm going to tell you, the most frustrating thing for me this week was, I'm in the RAD swing trade, and I was going to day trade it, but I was like, no, don't do that, because you're swinging it. You don't want to see all of this that's happening. And then some of you were swinging it. Some of you were day trading it and posting it in chat. So inadvertently, I'm following what's happening with the stop. And that was the most frustrating thing. So I almost got to the point where I'm like, I'm not going to say anything about when I'm trading, swing trading, because I don't want nobody to day trade it. But, you know, it was really hard to separate. And that's why when you're swing trading, you don't watch the stop tick for tick. You get in it, you set it, and you go about your business. And you get it. If it triggers, you enter, set your stop, and go do your thing. Most of you have phones. You could monitor it on your phone when you get a break, or whatever. If it's blowing up and you think you need to take profit or get out and burn that day trade, then you know you can go back to it. But the main thing is, don't watch it. And we're gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna talk about it till I'm blue in the face, for you just to stay away from, stay away from watching your day trades tick for tick. It's just like all day holds. I have trouble with guys watching it all day. You know, I hate calling them out, because everybody's giving me blow by blow what's going on. I don't want to hear it. But that's part of what we have to deal with. All right, guys. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. We're going to come back Monday. We're going to be locked and loaded, and we're going to see how many souls we can take this year. So have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday.